live and seeing how it goes.
And I look forward to seeing your reactions because I want to feed off the energy as I finally get my descent into my own construction games eventually. But let's go ahead and move our way into the matches themselves. They are already underway for our teams. Froden, is there one in particular you want to keep an eye on? Who have we not focused on much this tournament?
We haven't actually seen too much of Trump and Tice. Those are two players that have been relatively consistent, but knocking out of like the top. They're like basically getting top 4 a lot, maybe even a top 3 or 2. But they haven't gotten the wins. That's not what's important. What's important is getting points. Getting the wins would be very nice, but you can't always guarantee it. So I like to see what Trump and Tice are up to, especially because Trump, I feel like, is one of the players who's not afraid to defy the popular pro opinion. A lot of times players would say, oh, like, this is just the best. And Trump would challenge it. One of them, of course, being Shifter Xeris. Trump yesterday was during dinner. I believe, Tim, you were busy wrecking ladder. But at dinner, Trump was trying to convince everyone that Shifter Xeris is the best card in the game.
Okay, well, we'll see if that pays off there.
And we were like, no, it's not. And then Trump, the madman, bought a second Shifter Xeris. And he held both of them, and then they eventually transformed into 2 6-star units at the same time, a Mama Bear and a Maexna. And he said, see?
Can you imagine how good that feels? Like just sitting there telling everyone that they're wrong, that you enjoy something and then it just delivers the next turn over.
The problem is, Trump's already down to 19 life.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
19 life before he even gets to Tavern 3, that is going to hurt. But he does have this Direwolf Alpha, and he can pull up a 4-star unit.
While we're talking about Trump, just a little bit of a side tangent. You can feel free to cut me off at any point because he is taking some damage. I am so glad to finally meet Trump and then realize how authentic he is as a streamer. Like, he was sitting there playing Hearthstone Battlegrounds in front of us all, kind of showing us his strategies and tokens, and he would just mutter the word value after every single play that he did. And I was like, that's the Trump that I remember from streaming. He's fully who he is as a person, off stream and on stream, which I just love. I love people like that.
You know the Dave Chappelle meme where it's like, y'all got any more of them?
Yeah.
And Trump's that, but of course Dave Chappelle is, y'all got any more of them? Value. And he looks for every opportunity to get value, including yesterday Blizzard was like, hey, you want to go out to dinner? It's on us. Trump was like, what's the most expensive thing on this menu? But he didn't order it because he's a good guy.
At least he asked a question. That's definitely within him.
Yeah, he just wanted to know.
Yeah. Gotta have the knowledge there.
Well, he's about to know how much damage he takes here. 6 puts him down to just the lucky number 13.
And at this point, you can think about maybe handling a little bit more damage, but it's getting into a bit of a scary point here.
The Shifter Xeris is just not really panning out. Trump really needs that extra minion. That's 3 gold that he's invested into this minion.
Don't worry, it's going to turn into a Foe Reaper next turn. He's going to have 1 HP. He's going to turn this entire game around. That's the call. I can feel it.
Okay, he Tokis for a tier up. He gets the Beast, which honestly might not be the worst thing ever, just because he needs stats. It's a 9/7. I think a lot of people focus on the 3/3, but sometimes having a 9/7 is just good to snipe like the really powerful units.
Yeah, if you need quick power, you can sell that later on for sure, just to make sure he's sustained. But he wanted that Divine Shield instead for his Cobalt. Instead of having to reposition it, he wanted to go for the maximum value, so he gets a Kaboom Bop. So at least in this regard, he gets 10 damage on the board, guaranteed with the Divine Shield. And of course, if the Kaboom Bot dies, it drops off 4 damage off the Death Rattle.
Interesting. Trump choosing to have his Divine Shield mini attack first. Oh, but he's going up against Nefarian. Ah, this is so smart. Trump knows that Nefarian likes the hero power against Tice, and it deals 1 damage to all enemies. Security Rover is a 4-star card that says whenever this takes damage, summon a mech. So he knows that this Divine Shield is going to get popped from the Cobalt Guardian, and so positions in a way where Cobalt Guardian won't attack first, otherwise would have died.
Oh my God, how big is that man's brain? What a wonderful adjustment. And this comes down to the fun, I think, in Hearthstone Battleground. Battleground, sorry, man.
Keep dreaming, Trixler, former hero of the Stormcast.
I did want it for a little bit. But regardless, this shows what the heroes are able to bring to this entire game. If you are able to realize who you're facing off against, which you can see on that far left, and make the most small adjustments to make sure that you get the upper hand, that's a true display of skill and knowledge that you have in this matchup. Sure, some people might look at it and be like, hey, there's RNG everywhere, I can't control it. Trump just put on full display what you can do and make your units work for you. Well done by him.
The Boogie Master.
Wait, what?
Monster, excuse me, the Boogie Monster. Whenever this is attacks and kills a minion, gain +2/+2. Really effective against token compositions. Yeah. But I think Trump says, you know what? I can't wait for this Shifter Xeris to get much better. There are worse things than a Boogie Monster. Not much, but it's not the worst option. And you know what? Against a token-based composition that has a lot of these small things, maybe it ends up becoming a decent minion.
Maybe it does. It is frowned upon by a lot of players here. Every time they would always meme the Boogie Monster, but we'll see if it pays off. So far, not so much here for Trump, but he is getting the Divine Shields. There's another attack. There are multiple hyenas on the opposing side that he needs to clear. He finally gets one, and that is not the trade he was looking for. Okay, gets down to one hyena, so we're gonna get the 2 damage because that hyena is worth 2 stars, and then a 3 from the Tavern tier. 5 connects. Trump is still breathing.
Some fresh recruits for you.
Menagerie Magician only buffs one thing, needs to roll, gets a Goldrin of Toki hero power. Probably should explain what that does.
Yeah,
Toki is a temporal tavern, which is for 2 gold. You refresh the tavern and add a minion from a higher tier. So you just get 1 chance at hitting something really impactful, but it's really specifically strong when you need to keep rolling for an opportunity to get a Lightfang Enforcer, a Junkbot, a Mama Bear. These are all cards that we're naming that are really powerful central pieces to compositions to help get them that big carrier support. Trump has a couple of just really weak minions. We're looking at like this Righteous Protector. I think Trump's just using it solely as a way to distract his opponents. He needs to get something bigger, something stronger.
Well, he will be trying to get his security here buffed up a little bit, that Rolver, as he moves it up to a 610. And he's thinking about which minion do I want to throw my Replicating Menace on. That's going to be a 3-1 that magnetizes onto a creature and gives you Death Rattles, which will also build a Divine Shield. I feel like maybe at this point, oh my gosh, I thought he would go for the Rolver, but he moves over to the Iron Sensei.
Yeah, I think it's because Trump anticipates that as the attacks go down in the line, because you attack from left to right in Hearthstone Battlegrounds.
Sure.
That he's going to need those microbots at the very end to give the Divine Shield once more to the Cobalt Guardian.
Okay, well, we'll watch as it unfolds here as Trump continues to hold his on. Double Death Rattle for the opposing member as AFK. Firebat will be getting his creatures buffed up.
Boogie Monster just not really doing much here.
It's a hard card to get to work for you.
Woo. That Direwolf Alpha buff, though, coming up huge. These extra trades, these value trades that Trump are getting, very impactful to this outcome of the battle.
Especially that taunt constantly spawning to the right. The Direwolf makes sure it gets that extra HP in.
Yeah.
And it's going to be enough.
Wow, Trump getting that win. That Direwolf Alpha with the +2 attack. Able to get 8 in.
Here's the fun part about getting up to Toki as well. Whenever you do finally get up to that 5-star rank or hero power, when you trade in that 2, you are guaranteed a 6 drop. So at this point, Trump is just trying to build his board the best he can with the mechs, which again, you find a lot of your favorite mechs at your 4-star, the ones that can help buff up the creatures that you have, in particular that Cobalt. And then when he finally gets to that 5, when it's cheap enough for him to do it, and he feels stable enough, he can start guaranteeing himself some 6 drops every single turn with this Toki being played out. So if he can make it there, we'll be able to witness what this character can do in the late game.
Trump, there's a Shifter Xeris on the board. It's the best card in the game.
Imagine
some would say.
And it becomes a Foe Reaper immediately. That would be incredible.
He's kind of chuckling, realizing that he sold the Boogie Monster.
Oh no. It's okay. He's got another Rover. Toss it up on there.
Yeah, the 3rd Rover could be the Shifter Xeris.
You're on the Xeris, man.
I just want to see Trump, his prophecy be fulfilled. But in this case, there's a few other cards you'd rather take. I think the Metal Tooth Leaper on the far left which is a 2-star unit that says give your other mechs +2 attack is a viable thing, given that he has 1, 2, 3, 4 mechs. But he favors the second Iron Sensei. This is a play for the long term.
Yeah, he's confident in his board.
Ooh, also Trump is going up against Nefarian.
Divine Shields are going to pop. Does he adjust?
Oh, wait, he has to move his Cobalt Guardian if he wants to play around that. He does, just at the last second.
Clutch. All right, let's see if they pop the Hero Power Nefarian here.
No, it did not.
Didn't.
So a little bit of an unnecessary switch there from Trump. What a mix-up. And he's going up against Tice, which is a direct competition between the Mega Fins and the Rust Buckets.
The spawn comes in.
Potentially huge outcome here for both teams.
But the only big minion he has left is the Cobalt. Can it be clutch enough to stop him from death? The Cave Hydra comes out. It hits a Microbot.
No, there's not enough Microbots left. Trump is not going to die.
That's a 2-star, right? Yep, 6. Okay, so he still holds 2 HP left. Whew. Close battle here for Trump, but he's holding on. And luckily, the Iron Senseis will start to pay off now if they make it extra rounds.
Yeah, I think we need to ditch this Righteous Protector. I like what the Righteous Protector's done for us, but it's just a 3-1. It's not doing too much here.
Just need to find something important. Sadly, not at 5-star yet, so we can't find the Junk Bot, which is usually important.
Yeah, the Righteous Protector here with Taunt Divine Shield is very annoying because every minion in Battlegrounds has to attack a Taunt minion, and Divine Shield gets the double dip. But I feel like if I'm in Trump's spot, I want to favor a lot more stats and attack. Things like this Metal Tooth Leaper, giving all your mechs +2 attack. Very powerful.
Right now, he's just not finding anything strong enough to throw on the board.
Another Leaper. Also an Annoyo module, Magnetic, Divine Shield, and Taunt. Magnetic, you play this to the left of a mech in order to fuse them together.
So finally get that Metal Tooth thrown on the board, and there's the upgrades you were looking for. He's going to freeze the Annoy, as he was unfortunately unable to buy it, just didn't have enough gold. He had to roll a lot. He went through 4 rolls where he couldn't find a mech useful enough. Facing off against a Maz.
Trump will be playing against the Maz. There's 4 players with a dozen hit points or less. This could be a deciding moment between Amaz and Trump. Amaz, another member of the Rust Buckets that Trump is looking to take down.
Trade started off pretty all right, but that
Not
Amalgam...
enough board space. This was not the value you were looking for. And I think there is a case to be made that Trump's positioning is costing him a little bit. He has minions that summon other minions, but he has no board space for it. And there's no junk bots for him to go into.
Yeah, and there's double Cobalt, double Junk Bot on the side.
Hold on.
But there's no more spawns.
Oh, that's it.
So no shields. And Trump tries to ride it out. Xerath doesn't pay off for him. The mech build, unfortunately, unable to come together fully. And he will fall out in 8th place.
Yeah, that's not working now. Shift to Xerath, confirmed still. Mediocre or insane. Let's hop on over to Tice, another player that we want to focus on. He's another player on the borderline of being eliminated from this game.
Ooh, he's showing off the crowd pleaser. We mentioned it a couple of casts ago, but let's go ahead and highlight it again. That second minion from the far left, the crowd pleaser has a built-in mechanic to where when a battle cry is played, he will automatically buff himself by 1/1.
Oh yeah, and also I like its description of its buff, huge ego, which is not really characteristic of Tice, but maybe the other 15 players here, yeah.
I never realized that. There's so many little golden gems in Hearthstone that if you just like look at the art or read the little mechanics, that's incredible.
It's very fitting to describe that in a streamer-based competition.
Yeah, it really is, actually. Oh,
You're a variety streamer yourself, you know what I'm talking about.
You gotta have that huge ego, man. People don't want to watch people that don't care about themselves, you know? It's hard. You gotta have that huge ego. And the crowd pleaser brings a huge ego and some huge stats so far. 15 and 15 at the moment.
Yeah. It's interesting that Tice not really caring about the second crowd favorite, and it makes me think that Tice is eventually going to ditch this card. But we'll see. There's a lot more impactful minions that Tice could also pick up. Even though he's get the Light Forge, he doesn't have like Divine Shield or Taunt or Poisonous, some of those other really high impact stuff.
Yeah, he wants some money for those rolls. He wants to make sure that he can set up to get that poison. Remember, every unit you buy is putting yourself behind in tech, putting yourself behind in important units. And
Tice is also fighting the Ghost of Trump, which is what happens when there's an odd number of players in Battlegrounds. There's no character that you can play Kael'Thuzad. So you can see Kael'Thuzad here, but it's actually Trump's dead ghost, which
I
is...
just imagine him yelling as he dies, good
Yeah.
value, as he falls down. He gets picked off. 15 connects, and the Ghost of Trump will no longer be. Although the Curator, who was playing Curator here for us?
We're about to find...
Oh, it was Hafu, actually. Hafu will fall in 7th
Hafu's
place.
a first or last kind of player, which has been really helpful for the Megafins, to be honest.
Yeah.
But Hafu, yes, going down means that both Trump and Hafu got 0 points. And it doesn't matter if you're getting that first place consistently. What matters is whether or not you're able to get those points in order to secure the victory when the last round is finishing. Excuse me, what I mean is you can alternate all you want, but you want to end on a high note. And if you do get too far behind, you only have one more round to place in that top 4 to get points. Team Megafins could be falling a little bit farther behind because Tice is still in it, and so is Amaz.
Yeah, Trump and Hafu would have loved to have been able to grab a couple points this game, be a little bit more cushiony as we go into the next final round. We're going to have to play a little bit more high octane, it looks like, in our next round after falling in 8th and 7th place here.
Important to note, Tice is playing Amaz too, and neither of them are within a comfortable health spot. Tice is at 3, Amaz is at 7, so Tice is just going to hero power anyways. Says, you know what, Amaz? I need to do this to try to fight back. And I think I agree with that, because if you look at Amaz's board in a second here, he's got 2 junk bots. Yeah. And that's going to be really hard for Tice to fight back again. So he actually has to go as hard as he can to try and fight this.
Let's see if they knock each other out. The best case scenario is somehow they tie even, but there was no way for them to set up this board to make sure that occurs. Big swipe comes out. The Amalgam holds for now. Crowd Pleaser will be attacking now. Should be able to clean up that Amalgam on the next turn, but the junk bots start to get buffed.
Junk bots versus big Amalgams.
You got the Murloc man. He comes in swinging. Gets his own pick as well. Oh, the junk bots are pretty massive here. One gets picked off.
Okay.
There's a trade.
Oh no. Oh, the 1 health difference. Amaz kills Tice. They tried so hard to tie. And off by 1. That means Tice is bottom 4. And Amaz lives on. But Patchwork going down, Disguised Toast? Or is that Surrender?
Surrender, Dancing Daryl here in 4th place.
Yeah. It looks like Toast finishes in 6th place, which means that all the players here remaining are in the top 4 as we head to Amaz's point of view and see if he can inherit the will of Tice.
All right, picking up some more upgrades here. Grabs that Clunker, gives off a 2-2. Making that first minion so strong. One thing I was talking to Amaz about, actually, I was like, hey, when you're buffing minions, is there ever a cutoff point where you're just like, all right, this minion's too big, maybe I should spread the love a little bit? And he was like, no, always buff the biggest one that you can, especially if they have Divine Shield. And here he is, actually bringing in that buff as well. The interesting part, though, is that he could have buffed the Amalgam. But the Amalgam, with it having poison, at that point, it's big enough. You want to try and find some snipes there with your Cobalt on that far left, and he should be able to pull that off.
Yeah, I really like this small inclusion of the Mecharoo. It's a very cheap unit. Death Rattle summon a 1/1 Joey bot. That Joey bot is also a mech, which buffs Junk Bot whenever a friendly mech dies, which gives the Cobalt Guardians Divine Shield back. It's a very versatile card, even though it's just a very seemingly unimpressive mech there. So I think it's a really nice utility play here from Amaz. It's not the ideal scenario, right? Because he obviously would rather have a high impact minion like a Foe Reaper. But sometimes you just gotta make do with the small things that you got. He's going up against Vince, who's got a double Mal'Ganis Menagerie build. That's a lot of stats to shoot through.
Yeah. And that Mal'Ganis buffing up the taunt as well.
Oh boy.
The trade gets it picked off.
The Poisonous is going so big, and Junkbot number 2 is gonna bite the dust. This looks like Amaz is gonna get pushed out.
think I agree with you here, Dan. No more Divine Shields to be spawned. The Microbots moving in. Only 7 HP here to the name of Amaz. The Battlemaster survives, as well as the Kobold. Bran with additional 5. Let's see how many points it's going to be. 13 connects, 6 overkill, and Amaz gets taken out.
Oh, as well as Dancing Daryl, who was played by Surrender. Maz actually ends in 3rd place.
Wow, yeah, he had more health.
Right.
Into that fight, so he gets in 3rd place. Surrender, I was eyeing his board on the side. He was running more double cleave. He had double Hydra. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get it to a bigger slot, and it did get picked off. And now we move to our final 2.
Yep.
Firebat and Vins.
Yeah, Vin's with the Menagerie Demon build. Double Mal'Ganis, which he sells.
Up a goal.
He's getting more buffs.
Stacking what he can. Stacks on stacks, man. Go full pancake here, because it is the final one-on-one. Is there anything that he wants here? Just gotta find another buff. Okay.
Yep.
Menagerie.
And the thing is, with the Bran hero power, which after you play a Battlecry minion, give a random friendly minion +1/+1, he just keeps buffing up his board.
I mean, just hover over that amalgam real quick. You can just look at all the stats just flooding in there. A lot of those coming in from simply his passive, but of course the rest being brought in by minions.
Yep, the list is not long enough.
Is that longer than Santa's naughty list there? That's a really long list, my gosh.
Oh.
Let's pass the board. Here we go, trade-offs.
All right, Firebat gonna get a really big Divine Shield trade if he's able to keep it, but Vin's Cave Hydra eliminates that, which means this big mech does not survive. But he gets 2 summons off the Death Rattle. Surrender's Death Rattle build with mechs.
Just staring at here, waiting for the death rattles, what's the trades. Keep an eye on that Kobold too.
Yes. Oh, this Kobold Apprentice, which summons 2 friendly mechs that died this combat, potentially massive.
Let's see what it builds.
Woo!
Yeah, that's okay.
That's good stats.
Take that. Gets out another taunt as well, but is it just too much? Is Vin's too hefty?
Oh, the
here.
Hydra!
Oh my gosh, the big swipe. That's gonna be 3 units with 1 hit, but the death rattles come out.
Oh my goodness. Cave
enough.
Hydra is just too much. Firebat's gonna take some big damage here. 13 to the face. Firebat's down to his last dozen hit points. It's gonna be quite the nail biter.
This might be the last fight for both of our teams. Seeing how it unfolds, looking over to Vin's, looking to find a few more buffs, continuing to play with his passive here.
Hire one of these recruits.
All right, let's hop over to Firebat's POV. Vin's very clearly looking just for the buffs.
Triple.
Firebat gets the triple on the Harvest Golem.
Okay, gets a 6.
Zap Slywick.
Yeah.
Zap doesn't really have many great targets, given that Vince has just a big board of a bunch of stats.
Exactly. You want to have a junk bot on the opposing side that is low on health, or maybe even a hyena. But that is not available actually on the opposing side, as he's gone full stat build. So he goes for the Coiler instead. Do you mix it in though? Do you get rid of the Baron? What do you remove here to get that in?
I've moved the junk bot.
Okay.
Wow. Firebat has to go really quick. He has 2 seconds.
One. Oh, the APM. He nails it so fast.
He also positioned it correctly against the cleave because he needs that 3/6 to die with maximum board space. Okay, Firebat gets the first attack. That's pretty significant. And if Vince doesn't, he does pop the Divine Shield.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Really unfortunate trade there. But he still has more tools to get rid of it. Another Divine Shield popped. Nice. Smaller minion cleans it up.
Right. It's about whether or not he can get that value trade.
Yeah.
Cleave hurts so bad.
Taunts come out. A couple microbots as well. No junk bot to buff
Okay.
though.
You know, Firebat's just not inheriting the value, but he's still getting some decent pokes here and there.
The death battles are gonna really what brings it all together. And if Baron survives,
Oh
Okay.
boy.
4 units. Couple more coming out. Can't get the full value out of it. Too much board taken up.
Oh my gosh, this Cave Hydra's insane.
Baron continues to stay up. There's another spawn, just no room.
Death Rattles that just summon more Death Rattles, which summon more Death Rattles that summon more Death Rattles.
And a buff too! Wow! He finds a connection, and now it's just the last one.
This should be enough.
24,
it's so
24.
close. It's not going to be enough.
It's gonna be an 8-8 dinosaur coming out.
All the 2-time.
13, 17. Wait a minute.
I forgot about the Baron Rivendare.
And they tie. Holy smokes. Jesus. Well, we're going to go into another round. That Baron dodged multiple possible attacks, by the way, which is so great
third
to find
Baron.
out. Okay, and that does 3, right? Death rattles?
Yes, your
Yes.
Death Rattle triggers 3 times.
Okay.
Friend.
Nothing helpful here.
Does he have an amalgam? He does not.
Like, if you find something solid there, he could have traded out Xeris over here on the far left, or I'm sorry, N'Zoth, which would have been nice. It's giving out some decent stats, but nothing that's really changed in the course of the game. But the Mama Bear's just not it. That ain't it, Chief. Well, 5 remaining gold. Will he roll for anything?
Yeah, I think he has to roll here. I think the spawn of N'Zoth is actually very important to his composition because
Yeah?
it triggers 3 times.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
Baron Rivendare.
That totally slipped my mind.
So I think he's got to just roll for the triples of whatever else he's got.
Let's see if you can
And with
stand
this,
on top.
let's find out. Is this the final battle between Firebat and Vince?
I'm shaking in my boots, man. My gosh, such a good round. As the Divine Shields get popped, there's the death battle we were looking for. It triggers multiple times, 2 and the 3rd time. Purple clouds for everybody.
Wow. Again,
Yeah,
the
that's-
Sky Golem just biting the dust.
Maybe able to clean it up. Oh no, the swipe cleans up that.
Actually, I think that's a good thing because now the gas coiler can finally spawn more than just 2.
True. You lose out on your big rover. We'll watch how that unfolds here. Gonna need those to be done. There we go. Gas Coiler will be up next. Nice. Good little snipe there for Firebat. Here's the spawns. Anything useful? A Divine Shield, Void Lord, and a Rat Pack.
Hold on. This Selfless Hero gives Divine Shield 3 times.
Does it really? Yes, it does. Let's see here. 1, 2, and
No,
3.
2 do the same thing.
That is unfortunate. But hey, 2 Divine Shields are better
Oh
than none.
no,
Wow.
the cleave. And Death Rattles not being able to activate 3 extra times should wrap this up. Firebat held on really nicely. And once again, Death Rattle build impressing me more than I thought. Rabid Rangers with behind Vins takes another one with 23 damage to close out the lobby.